Why is it that luxury brands don't have faux leather versions in their lineup? Why don't they create products that are vegan friendly? I've got 3 reasons that I think is the case for this. The information I'm going to share with you, by the way, I'm actually not vegan, but I've done so much research on this. I feel that I know everything there is to know about vegan leather. But if you are vegan, if you know more than me, which I'm sure you will do because you're vegan, if anything that I've said is factually incorrect, just leave a comment below. I've got a series of bags, some of them annoyingly so nearly you could class as vegan, but they're kind of 99% of the way there, but I thought I'd show you anyway. These bags being the Prada nylon range, which actually that particular example is not a good example because that backpack has actually got quite a bit of leather on it, but you can get other things in the range. I think you might be able to get vegan, you know. I'm going to check this out and let you know. But there are some that have got the tiniest bits of leather on them, which I know doesn't make it vegan. I'm also going to share with you the Dior Saddlebag in the full material. So this isn't the oblique version where these bits on the front are leather. This is actually the full denim version. I have got some Chanel, one of my favourite bags. Did you know Chanel has got a tweed line? I don't think you can necessarily always get it. It tends to come out in collections, but for any of you who want to avoid a bag that's all over leather, but you've always wanted a classic flap, I personally really like this bag. And then I'm also going to cover Louis Vuitton, the Book Tote from Dior, and the new Lady Dior D-LITE, which is fabric. I also have, which I'm going to start with, I have got 2 bags which are full vegan. Very briefly, I'm going to talk about the 3 types of vegan leather, which I think are going to really help you before I show you everything. Then I'm going to show you everything. Then I'm going to talk about the 3 reasons why I think that brands, I want to say, don't bother. There are 3 types of vegan leather. The first most common type, probably the most malleable, you can probably do the most with it, and you can make this material look how you want, so you can actually give it a proper leather look in terms of texture and things like that, but it's the least environmentally friendly, and it is PU leather. So it's leather made out of a material called, if I can pronounce it, polyurethane, I think is how you pronounce it, probably not. The second version, which is something that Stella McCartney actually do, and it is leather made from upcycled plastic. So it is still plastic, however, it's not making new plastic in the world. It's reusing and recycling existing plastic, old water bottles. And then the third type, which is the type that I'm most interested in, it is a material made out of the top bit of pineapples. There is an actual name for this particular material. It's actually got a trademarked name. It uses the top bit of the pineapple, which there's a lot of waste of that anyway, because you take the pineapple, you cut that off 9 times out of 10, and then you send it on to the shop. So they have these piles of foliage, and she came to realise that if you treat in a certain way those leaves, that you could break the pineapple leaf down into pretty strong fibres that you could then make sheets of material out of. And the material, from what I've seen, it almost looks like quite a thick felt. I'm going to show you it here. This material is then durable in many different ways. You can make things out of it, but one of the ways in particular, you can make a version of faux leather that is entirely green. It's not plastic, and it's using plants. I'm going to do the next option, vegan bag, before I move on to the Chanels, the Diors and things like that. This is something I was quite amazed about, because when it turned up, this, with the Stella McCartney, you can tell it's not leather. You can tell it's not suede. It feels more like a material. Whereas with this, if I hadn't been told that it was not leather, I wouldn't have known. It's this, and I'm going to compare it to, this is leather, this is non-leather. Don't let the sheen on this one make you feel that that's plastic and this isn't, because actually this isn't a very fair comparison. This leather is it's like the epi leather that you get on Louis Vuitton, whereas this is Saffiano. So actually they're not really a fair comparison, because the way the light bounces off them both is really completely different. But the point I'm trying to make is, incidentally, this one they have given me this one I purchased. So this is from Senrev. They have got a selection of different bags, but this has always been my favourite. I don't know why. This is the mini size Maestra. I also have the extra large version that I use as a work bag because it's designed to have a laptop in it. This one, back when we could travel, I used to travel with it a lot because it has got a detachable handle on the back that lets you either wear it over your shoulder, or you can pull it down like that and you can actually wear the bag as a small backpack. What do I think of this? Well, I think that coming out with a faux leather material in Saffiano was probably one of the smartest things they could have done, because Saffiano doesn't always have that plush feeling of leather anyway. I've had a Prada Saffiano bag in the past and it feels exactly the same as this. Saffiano leather, it doesn't have that squishiness, it doesn't have that texture, it doesn't even soften up in the way that other leathers tend to. So from that perspective, this kind of feels exactly like leather. The weight of this bag is also very similar. I mean, this one is meant to be a bit lighter, but I find them both about the same, which is quite nice because again, it stops it from feeling cheap. I think if you've got a bag and there's a bit of weight behind it, it makes it feel a lot nicer. On the inside, Senrev have kept the inside exactly the same as on the leather version. This here, this material is the same actually on all of the bags, leather and non, because this is made from a micro suede. It's kind of like a faux suede. Actually feels quite like that Stella McCartney one. I asked for more information on this material just to find out what's the background to it, because as I'm going to come on to, pretty much none of the luxury brands have even bothered with vegan. You know what I was saying about the lady who kind of invented the leather made out of pineapple leaves? That was a project that she started on back in 1990, and she's only now, or in the last sort of 5 years, come to a point where it's a good enough material to actually be used in mainstream. Senrev have had a similar, I want to say, problem with this, where they were saying that this has actually been in development for nearly 2 years, and all of their bags are made in Italy, and the leather and tanning factory that they work with to make all of their leather bags, they have been working with on this. Stella McCartney bags, they are made out of recycled plastic bottles. So the second option I was telling you, which is kind of the second most expensive, and it's slightly more, it's more premium than PU leather. It's the noisiest and most annoying, but also I liked it originally because I really liked the slouchy style of it. But when it comes to using it for me personally, it ends up being quite annoying because everything gets a bit messy. The exterior of this bag it does feel a bit like suede. If you didn't think about it, you would you think it's suede? It's very, very close. It doesn't feel exactly like it. It feels like a textured, fluffy fabric. It feels like a fabric pretending to be suede, but it's really, really good. And you can get these in all different colours and stuff, but this one is the one that I bought, which has got like a sheen on it. On the outside edges, this contains faux leather, and around the edge where the chain is, the leather goes all the way around to the inside of the bag. Oh, it's so noisy, shut up! Goes to the inside of the bag where you've got the logo tag there. This looks pretty authentic as faux leather goes, this tag. So it's noisy on the outside. I don't know whether that will be irritating for you, but it's also noisy on the inside. The inside is what makes this bag feel cheap. Let me make the outside. Just straighten it up. Don't know if you can hear that. It's crunchy. This feels like plastic. It feels like, you know, the material you get on umbrellas? Feels like a thicker version of that. And it's just noisy. It's pretty good if you want a high-end brand, but I think it's too expensive. For the quality, it's really weird because on one hand the quality is good, and on the other hand I really don't like the quality at all. I'm going to show you all of the other higher designer branded bags, And I think there's only one thing I need to tell you as to why it is that these bags are not technically vegan, and it's really annoying. I thought to myself, oh amazing, this bag, the Saddlebag, they're all canvas. It's only when I looked at it up close that I realised the tag on the inside that has got the bag's serial number is leather. That tiny thing there, I don't know. I'm going to show you these anyway, because for some of you these might not be bags that you have ever thought about, know exist, have considered. That detail there might be something that you think is not ideal and I don't love it, but I want a bag, I can overlook it. So I'm going to show you this anyway. The D-LITE bag that I'm going to show you, I don't actually own, but my SA, my sales associate at Dior, Anne Lee, he's very kindly taken this footage for me just to show you some close-ups. And unfortunately it's the same thing with this. I said to him, have you got anything that's vegan? And he was like, oh, he said, we've got all of these bags that are fabric, but they've all got that tiny leather tag on the inside. So he's shown me this anyway. And for anyone, because of lockdown and we can't go anywhere, for anyone in the UK or anywhere, I guess, if you are potentially interested in seeing that bag in better detail, or in fact any of the bags, I will put his details below because he's really lovely, and he can help you and post things to you and stuff like that if you decide to buy anything. Also with the Chanel, if you're going to buy it, bear in mind that that bag also has a strip of leather running through the chain handle, so that's one step on from not only just having a leather label on the inside. Why do I think that luxury brands don't bother? I've got 3 reasons that I came up with when doing my research. The first, you know what I was saying about the whole pineapple thing and how that took so many years, and then Senrev have been working on that particular leather for nearly 2 years. They all said to me yesterday, they said, we're not even done on that. We are still working on it. We're still trying to make it better again. But even with them, they have said it has been difficult. They have said it has been proper hard work to come up with a truly vegan product that is as environmentally conscious as possible, that actually is the kind of thing that someone who's got that higher level of taste and wants to spend a bit more, that is something that someone would actually want to buy. So with that in mind, I think that's the first reason. I think that if you take the research and development, the labour, the years that it probably is going to take you to come up with something that is premium looking enough, that you are happy to have as an advertisement on your products, you're happy for people to walk around with your Chanel classic flap made out of a non-leather alternative as an advert for you. But then I got thinking, well, these brands have so much money. I mean, would it really be a problem for them to come up with a solution? Would I buy a vegan bag? Yes. I've bought the Stella McCartney. I've been kind enough to have been given the Senrev, although I've bought from there before because I like their stuff. I would buy it. Would I buy something that's all over plastic? Gotta say no, even though I did buy the Stella McCartney. But would I buy something that is in a material that is so good you can't even tell the difference, and crucially wears like leather? I think that's what it comes down to. With a lot of these bags that are plasticky, they wear like plastic. So yes, I would do it, but if I'm spending £2,000, £3,000, £4,000 on a bag, that fake leather has got to be so good. And I think a lot of these brands probably know that, and they've weighed up the cost of doing it with the potential customer base. So that's the second point, is how much of a customer base would be looking to buy a bag that is exclusively vegan. I'm not talking about bags like this that are canvas, irrelevant of that leather tab on the inside. I'm actually talking about bags that are all over leather, and they're meant to be all over leather. How many people are willing to buy that? Do you see what I mean? I'm trying to think of how big a piece of the market is there going to be for these brands. So if they've put money into R&D, trying to come up with a good enough quality fabric, only for sort of 5 or 10% of people that would normally buy to come in and buy it, how many years might it take them to recoup that money that they've invested into coming up with another solution. The other thing, I think, it's about profit and bottom line. And that's another thing that ties into the vegan thing. So these material bags, even the canvas bags from Louis Vuitton, because they are not all over leather, they are pretty considerably less in money than the leather versions, because you can't really charge as much for plastic as you can for leather. Canvas is easy to manufacture because it exists. All new quality premium faux leather versions of it exist, but does a version of it exist yet that is the quality you would expect to see from even Hermes? Can you imagine true lovers of Hermes, you know, going and buying a Kelly or a Birkin and it's made out of a plastic? How would that audience react to it? Would there be the appetite for it? If there is, how big an appetite would there be? I do have as well a couple of coupon codes. This video is not sponsored, but the coupon codes, one I've got from Farfetch that I got given for a previous video I've done, but the coupon code works until the 16th of February. The other one is from Senrev. That one gets you a bit of money off. I don't earn any commissions from any of the coupon codes that I share, by the way. Any that I've ever shared on this channel, anytime, I don't profit from, but if I do, I will always tell you. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm now going to move on to the next bit. It's a complete mess, so I'm just going to tidy up and then I'm going to sit with you and talk. So this bit I'm going to fast forward. I made a blueberry cheesecake yesterday. I'm gonna have some with some of the blueberries that are left over. It's actually a really good cheesecake, I can't deny. I just found the recipe online. It's kind of like a New York cheesecake in that it's baked, but there was, what was it? There was some differences to it, to do with ingredients, I think. So this I'm trying to call a vlog, just so that it's a bit different. Well, okay, so that's that done. I thought I would show you some items just recently that have been really good. I've got 3 pairs of sunglasses to try on as well that I got on sale, and I got them for a really inexpensive price. Anyway, here's the first thing. See this? I've got to show you this close up. This jumper, probably no one remembers because it's really indiscriminate, but this is actually a jumper dress or a long jumper that's from Balmain, and I bought it back in 2016. And what has happened to it over time, I've really tidied it up actually, so I can't really show you. But basically, over the years, the whole thing has bobbled up really, really badly. And I really didn't want to get rid of it because I like the fit of it. It's just it looked like a rag. So I thought I'm going to try and see whether I can buy something that removes them. And I found this. I think I got it on eBay. No, Amazon. And it's fantastic. And I'm going to show you a clip now of me using it. And what's really rewarding is whenever you go over a bit where there's loads of bubbles, it's kind of like a lawnmower. You know when a lawnmower hits a patch of grass that's really tough to get through? You can hear that, and it's cleaned it up so well. And in fact, I need to go over it again, really. I think I do. It's so much better than it was. So that's it close up. I always hate filming black clothes because they look really pale and washed out. This is actually the colour, there's nothing wrong with the colour of it. It's really jet black, but it's so much freer of bubbles than it was. Then I got a couple of beauty items. The first thing, I wanted to get a lipstick. and there's this colour that I quite like from MAC, and it's called Whirl, and I bought it, and this has turned up. I thought it was full size. It's kind of like a tester, and I really wish that I'd known. Good colour anyway. I suppose that would be really good for mini handbags, would probably be quite good. Then I also bought a new replacement of this, which is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream, but this is the day version. I really like this. Then the sunglasses, which I haven't tried on. They might be ridiculous. I've bought Tom Ford, Ralph Lauren, and Versace, and let me tell you, I think the Tom Ford ones, I paid £49 for them, and they were in a sale. And the place that I bought them from, I've been buying glasses from them for about 5 years. They're called Pretavoir, and they're an actual optician in Glasgow, I think they are. So I'm going to try these on as we go. You know what really got me inspired? They might look horrific. Has anyone watched The Queen's Gambit? You know how it's very 60s? Well, I watched that and I really like the style, and I thought I really want some 60s looking glasses. These look good. Let me get out of my mirror. You can tell me when I watch it back if they look ridiculous or not. I actually don't mind those. What do you reckon? This is them on the side. And the front. I think I like those, but I'm not going to take the label off until I edit this video, because the amount of times that I remove labels thinking something's really nice, and then I look at it back on camera and I'm thinking that is not nice. Okay, these are the next. How much were these? £52. I don't know. They're a bit too small for the face. I mean, they're not terrible. What do you reckon? Kind of crystals. And front on. I don't mind. Save that one as well. Now the ones that I'm most excited about, these were probably the most expensive that I bought. These are Tom Ford. Oh, they're really wide. This label's annoying. They're quite nice as well. What's really nice is there's the gap there between the lens and the middle of the frame. I'll come and do a close-up. Can you see just here? That gap? Quite like that. The classic Tom Ford T things on the side. Plain on the back. These are slightly more kind of cat eye though, which I like.